Hello and welcome to the America F1 series. We are here for the penultimate round of the Division 1 category at Zandvoort in Netherlands. We have two drivers in contention for the title, and guess what? Just 2 points separate them going into the last two events of the championship. The first of those coming here right now in Zandvoort. But first, qualifying. It'll be an 18-minute short qualifying session to determine the grid, and then we'll be set for a 36-lap contest between the 16 drivers who are competing tonight. One important thing to note of is that WSPJA, that would normally be competing, is racing under a different account tonight that is known as LFR Pedro Loskul. But he's racing for the same team, so it's easy for us to identify who is who. So to let you know of other changes, we've got one of the Haas cars being filled in tonight. Rexon in place of Tilwick. Nanda at Racing Point. Coming in there for Pure G Jackson. There's nothing too much else there. Blockburn was in the last round. And Bronco Brive is also in for Mercedes in place of Aaron Kerry, who still hasn't returned to the series since Austria. Cars are starting to rev now, which means we get to see some action out on track. Denmark is the first driver to head out in the Renault. So Denmark, who finished 6th last time out in Brazil. Now he's finished in every race so far this season as Denmark, except one. The non-finish coming in Austria, but other than that, he's finished either 4th or not. The highest has been 4th, the lowest has been 9th where he's finished. So every race he's finished has been in the points, which is rather consistent from Denmark, who is 6th in the championship overall on 62 points. He is in the battle for 4th place with Aaron Kerry, who's currently not racing at the moment, and Radicon, who's also Radicon's racing tonight, I should say. So it'll be quite a contest between Radicon Denmark for that 4th place. Can anyone other than Cyclonado or WSPJA win a race? The only driver other than those two to have won is Aaron Kerry, who won in Canada in round 4. So Denmark coming down the start-finish straight. So begin his first flying lap. He's on the medium compound, as you can see. You can tell by the graphic on the top right-hand corner. And of course you can see on the side marks of the Pirelli tyres fitted to Denmark's machine. Now, in case any of you are wondering, Denmark is not Danish. He's in fact American. Not sure why Denmark is his first name, but it is. And Quasinada has now got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Bronco Brive. Not good news for him. And there's a Williams up ahead from Denmark there. Not sure who was that, Bishop's Finger, who was struggling to see out that it was Bishop's Finger. I wonder if he blocked Denmark on that run. So over the line for the American, 1 minute 10.4 for him. So that's the first lap time of this session. You can see a Haas coming through as well, which is Rexon. Supposed to a 1 minute 11.6. He's set that on the soft compound. Here is Nanda in the Racing Point. 1 minute 10.1. Got an Alfa Romeo crossing over the line as well. That'll be Quasinada to start a flying lap, in fact. Binettinus likewise. So we'll go to Elog, who's on the soft compound. He'll post a 1 minute 9.1. So he goes fastest by a second ahead of Nanda. Ashwin in the Red Bull, as DeSimpi crosses the line to post a 1:13.4 on the mediums. Ashwin posts a 1 minute 10.5 on the mediums. We'll go back to find Bishop's Finger. Coming through the last two turns. There are 14 corners around the Sandvor track. Bishop's Finger going through the new banking that was set to be ready to be hosting the Dutch Grand Prix in 2020 for Formula 1, but was put back by another year due to the pandemic. But of course it will be hosting its first Grand Prix since 1985 in early September. SDQ crossing the line for Ferrari to post a 1 minute 10.2. Quarcinado over the line with a 1 minute 10.6. We've got a racing point coming through there. That'll be switched back. He could do with a good qualifying here. It's a 1 minute 9.0, and he goes to the top of the timing pages by over 100th of a second. That's how close it is right now, but we've still got other drivers yet to post a lap time. Radikon and B Natinata are two of them. Radikon will come through first. B Natinata's lap time has been invalidated actually, so Radikon we'll keep an eye on. His time is a 1 minute 9.9, only good enough for third at the moment. Simpi's improved to a 1 minute 12.8. Rexon coming back into the pit lane. And SDQ has spun on the exit of turn 10. Rejoins. Nanda coming out of the pit lane to go on another run. So Cyclonado, who we are waiting on. Supposed to lap time here. Bronco Brive on his fast lap now in the Mercedes. Didn't get the best of Jai coming out of turn 3. He's Blockbent, who's further around the circuit actually. In the Red Bull, he took pole position last time out in Brazil. Had a nightmare of a safety car restart though that totally ruined his race. And he can only manage 11th as a result and no points to his name. It's coming through turns 13 and 14 now though. Probably looking at a 1 minute 10 here, to be honest with you. It's a 1 minute 10.2, that puts him 5th. What about Bronco Brive? What is he on at the moment now? It's a 1 minute 10.6. So not far away from Blockbent. Even only 3 drivers yet to post a lap time so far. Now DeSimpi is on a lap on the mediums in the McLaren. Still on the same mediums as before. So 1 minute 11.7. Stays the slowest out of all 13 drivers who've set a lap time. Now did Bishop's Finger hold up Nanda there? May not have done, but still not an ideal situation. Cyclonado pushing too hard at turn 7. His lap has been invalidated. This is WSPGA under the Pedro Luxel account name. He also pushes too hard, and so has to back out on that lap. And Binat's just taking too much curve there. He's exceeded track limits, and he'll have to go again. Now Rexon is still out on the same set of soft tyres as he was to set his earlier lap. What can he find on this lap here as he comes through turn 7? Nearly 4 tenths up from before. That's a good improvement so far. I think Ashwin's just going through turns 11 and 12. He's on the soft compound tyres, so unsurprisingly he's finding a lot of time throughout the lap here. DRS open. It's a 1 minute 9.5. Goes third with that one. Rexon's lap time's been invalidated. So Bernardo coming through the last turn. Coming into the pits actually. And Pedro Loxel will do likewise. Quasinada looking to improve on 10th at the moment. He set a 1 minute 10.6. It's a 1 minute 11.0 on that time, so there's no improvement. SCQ, he's on an improvement through sector 2. It'll be a 1 minute 9 here. It's a 1 minute 9.6. Goes fourth with that one. Very nice lap. Goes through the runoff area of turn 1. Probably testing out the new runoff area, but for when Formula 1 goes there in September. Denmark now on the medium, the soft compound, sorry. Is aiming for a low 1 minute, a low 30. It is, which is 3 tenths faster than what he'd set on the mediums by that point in the lap. Gamer James has joined now. I'm not sure if his late arrival will be good enough to see him qualify high up on the grid. Denmark's 7 tenths up from before in sector 2. So I would say he's on course to be in the top 3 with the way this lap is going. 1 minute 8.9 switchback is set. So he extends his margin over Elog. Denmark over the line. It's a 1 minute 9.5 and he goes 4th. So just missing out on 3rd position there by half a tenth. Vinatinas has just started his flying lap. Desimpi is on an improvement as he's on the soft compounds. .48.8, nearly a full second up from the 1 minute 11.7. He's set by this point in sector 2. Turns 13 and 14 before he comes round to complete the lap. And this is going to put the Dutchman up to 9th place as Elo goes fastest on a 1 minute 8.7. He goes to provisional pole position with that lap time. Vinatinas has continued to have problems. He's wrecked his front wing as well. And he'll be back in the pit lane. He's still yet to set a lap time. Has the owner of the America F1 Series. Here's Nunda. He's finding more and more time through sector 1 than what he had found before. He's taken some good lines actually. He should be in the 48s. For sector 2 is in the 48.1. Oh, he's pushed too hard. Turned in too quickly. Oh, it's such a shame there for Nunda. Pedro coming through, 29.7 in sector 1. Just needs to keep the car on the racetrack. Don't exceed shut limits. Nice exit after turn 10. High 47 is probably what he's looking at here. 47.6. So Doris PGA on course Let's go to provisional pole position here, no question. A 1 minute 8.7 is the time to beat. Only second though, 1 minute 8.8. So he's over half a tenth away from pole there. Psychonado is also on a flying lap. 29.5 in sector 1, which is 2 tenths quicker than what WSPJA had set a moment or so ago. 47.3 in sector 2. Not as quick, I would say. Or maybe 3 tenths faster than what WSPJA had set. Psychonado is coming through the last turn now. Onto the pit straight. Does he go to provisional pole? The answer is yes. It's a 1 minute 8.3. 4 tenths faster than Elog. WSPJA is third. Switchback fourth. So Switchback not far behind actually. Switchback posting a brilliant lap time there. Got less than 3 minutes remaining, so there's definitely time for one last run for these drivers. Nearly 2 tenths up from what he set before for Bishop's Finger. He's aiming for a 1 minute 9 with this run. He needs to be ideally in the low 48s by sector 2. It's a 48.4. Over half a second up. I would say he's definitely on course for a better lap here. Most definitely to get into the 1 minute 9s. And it is a 1 minute 9.7. That puts him in P8. Radicon going wide at turn 13 there. Not sure what on earth he's doing. Bronco Brive not going back out again. Driver's got to be careful with not blocking other drivers on their laps. To simply going off at turn... Where's he gone off there? That looks like turn 8 and he's wrecked his front wing. Now he needs to get moving, otherwise he's going to be disqualified from the session. There's one more car coming though. And just simply gets going at last. And Rexon, nearly 4 tenths up from his previous best lap in sector 2. Are we going to see him get into a 1 minute 10 here? I mean 11.0. No improvement in terms of position. A log now only 4 hundredths off in sector 2 from his best lap before. Don't expect him to be going for pole here. Psychonado is not going back out again. Elog's not improving. WSPJA is on a last attempt to take pole position away from Psychonado. He needs this one. He decides to pull out on this one. I'm not sure retiring on the racetrack is a good idea, to be honest with you. It is against the rules with regards to driving standards. Ashwin, his lap time's been invalidated, no improvement. Likewise with SDQ. Lotbent's going slowly. And I think that's that. Psychonado takes pole position then for the Dutch Grand Prix, with Elog in second. Diras PGA will be third, ahead of Switchback. Ashwin a brilliant fifth for Red Bull. Then it's Denmark ahead of SDQ and Bishop's Finger, Radicon and Quasinado round at the top 10. But Quasinado will go back 5 places on the grid, following contact with Bronco Brive during that session. That'll elevate Nanda up to 11th, with Blockbent, Bronco Brive, Simpi, B Natinata moving up a position. Now, Blockburn, who was on pole last week, is down in 12th place. I don't know where his speed has gone. Didn't expect him to be that far down. But the reality is, he is. So here's your grid for the Dutch Grand Prix. Cyclonado and Elog line up next to each other on the front row. Then it's WSP and Switchback on row 2. Ashwin, Denmark, complete row 3, followed by SDQ and Bishopsfinger on the 4th row. Rudicon, Nanda will make up row 5, with Quasinada taking a 5-place grid drop. Blockburn and Bronco Brive are next up, followed by Desimpi and B Natinata. Quasinada will start 15th ahead of Rexin and Gamer Janes, and that's your grid for the race. We'll be back in a moment, but don't go anywhere. So we're just waiting for the drivers to complete their tyre and fuel strategies for the race. As far as the weather is concerned, saying it's overcast. So it doesn't appear to be that there'll be any rain for the race. So it could just be a simple one-stopper for the drivers. Remember that 2 points is the gap between Cyclonado and WSPGA, which means Cyclonado was to win this race and WSP didn't score, that would be enough for Cyclonado to clinch the title. So in regards to tyres, everyone apart from Nanda, Blockben and Desimpi are all starting on the softs. Can Elog go for the victory from second? He knows what he can do. Just needs to get a good start off the line. Good launch off the line. Got 17 drivers on the grid for this one. Gamer Janes, who joined in late, propping up the grid. We shouldn't expect to see any rain in this one. But we'll find out as the session goes on. Switchback done well to get his racing point up to 4th. He could well get a podium out of this. The highest he has finished this season has been 6th, which came at Spa in round 7. And now the drivers will go to the grid. Cyclonado alongside Elog, with WSP slotted into 3rd place. I think WSP's first task is to make sure he gets ahead of Elog and then chase after Psychonaudo as the race goes on. So the last few cars taking up their positions on the grid. Gamer James line up in 17th. Can he power his way through the field? So it's all set then. We await the 5 red lights. And when they all extinguish, racing in Zandvoort will begin. It's lights out and away we go. And Psychonaudo gets off the line brilliantly. Elog follows him, but he's got the AlphaTauri of DRSP will go right round the outside into turn 1. Elog will have the inside line though, and so will keep hold of second place. There's a yellow flag somewhere, so someone has had a moment. I wonder if Gamer James has stalled on the grid. He's got going again anyway. There's contact there from the Red Bull of Ashwin, who gets ahead of Switchback at the start. They made contact with DRSPJA, but he's got away with it. No damage to the car there, but Psychonaudo stays in the lead. There's Elog in second place, followed by DRSP in third. Block bent in the wall is out of the race. That may bring out a safety car, you know, and it is. So I'm not quite sure what's happened. He must have had a coming together there. It looks like at turn 6. Yeah, he's binned it there in the tyre wall. So Block bent, who had a nightmare of a race after starting from pole in Brazil a week ago, is out of the race on the opening lap here in Zandvoort. Psychonaudo made the perfect getaway. Elog did what he needed to do and fend off DRSP on the inside into turn 1. Now, how will that affect race strategy? It's probably too early to think about coming into the pits for a change of tyres. It is a short pit lane here in Zandvoort. I think with it being the first lap, I don't think there's going to be any drivers heading for the pit lane unless they've got front wing damage. I wonder who made contact with Block bent down at turn 5. That won't have been Gamer James. I think Gamer James must have had a coming together. Nanda's in the pits. Was he the one that made contact with Block bent? Not 100% sure, but either way, he's in the pits for a new front wing. Goes on to a set of hard tyres, so you can go to the end of the race on those. Gamer James also needing a change of rubber. New front wing, and out they go, and they'll catch up to the rest of the field. So Psychonaudo leading, DRSP in third place as it stands. Psychonaudo will extend his gap over his rival. Now, given that only the first lap has been completed, Psychonaudo will have the fastest up at this point, but there's a long way to go yet. The gap would be what was 2 points at the beginning of the race, now 13. So WSP has got to be all to do to get ahead of Elog and close in on his title rival, Psychonaudo. So Ashwin getting off, made a brilliant start, Switchback not quite so. Denmark up there in 6th place. He's not lost any positions or gained any. So the only change within the top 8 has been between Ashwin and Switchback. Bronco Brives made up 3 positions. Rexon's made up 5 positions from 16th to 11th. He was the biggest jumper at the start. We're now on lap 3. Psychonaudo following the safety car for one more lap before this race does get back underway. So will the safety car be coming in at the end of this lap? I should think so. No. DeSimpi's spun actually. So DeSimpi has spun under the safety car. What was all that about then? How's he managed to do that? Silly manoeuvre there from DeSimpi. I don't know how he's managed to spin under the safety car, but he's lost 3 positions through all that. But the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap now. Psychonado will head the field. He may not decide to go until he gets past the final turn. Bishop's Fingers, the first driver, is getting penalised for contact with Bronco Brive. The race is back on the way now, with Psychonado heading the field. Then we've got Elog in second place with WSP in third. Ashwin close behind in fourth position. And someone is heading for the pit lane. Is that Nanda who's in the pits? It is. That's the second time he's come into the pits already. It's another unscheduled stop there. His chances of points diminishing. But WSP needs to get past Elog here as soon as he can. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. WSP will be looking to find any gap possible to close in and make a move on the Alfa Romeo. He's Switchback though. Oh, Switchback spun! Switchback has spun! Hits the polystyrene board as he got damage to his front wing. It looks like he did, you know, and he's fallen to the back of the field. That's such a shame after a brilliant qualifying earlier. Switchback has fallen to the back of the field. And now WSP still behind Elog at the moment. And Switchback's spin has elevated Denmark into 5th position. SDQ, who has yet to finish a race this season, is in 6th place for Ferrari. Then it's Radicon, Bronco Brive. Rexon is 9th, with Bishop's Finger in 10th place. Quasinada in 11th. But here's WSP. He's looking to close in on his title rival here. Oh, and Elog. You can see how much Elog is braking earlier, actually, than the AlphaTauri. This is why it's so important for WSP to get past. Ashwin looking to close in on these guys. Showing some pace in that Red Bull, some genuine pace indeed. And now the ERS has been utilised there by the AlphaTauri. Psychonado with a new fastest lap. Radicon overtaking SDQ for 6th place. Down the inside into turn 1 and he's through. Psychonado doing everything he can right now. WSP just needs to really dig deep, and once the DRS is being used, you can actually just close in a little bit more for when they get onto the start-finish straight. And there's been a spin. It looks like SDQ has had a moment, but has continued. And WSP looking to close in. In fact, SDQ's gone off again, this time at turn 13. And he's crashed into the barrier on the exit. So his chances of points, once again, going out of the window there for SDQ. And we've got a virtual safety car here. And then Rexon wisely gets back. Oh, and Bishop's Finger's run into the back of him. Now that's silly driving there from Bishop's Finger. I don't know what on earth he was thinking. He's just let him through, and he blatantly runs into the back of him. What on earth was that all about? Oh, this is silly. This is very, very silly. Between Bishop's Finger and Rexon. And I wanted the stewards will have a look at that. absolutely no need for that from Bishop's Finger. He's already got a penalty to his name in this race. He's got 10 seconds worth of time penalty now. And we're only on lap 7. Now, Switchback and SDQ have come into the pits. And Denmark's been penalised. Denmark has been given a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. So he'll have to come in within the next 3 laps to serve it. But here's WSP with DRS. To the inside he goes. There was contact. There was definitely contact there between the AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo. But WSP gets alongside, he's through, exits in turn 1 and goes up into 2nd place. That's crucial for the championship. He needs to now go after Psychonado, who's 2.5 seconds clear, as Denmark and Bishop's Finger come into the pit lane. Denmark has served his drive-through penalty. He rejoins down in 12th place now. Bishop's Finger in the pits. Nanda and Switchback will go past him. Yeah, it's a race to forget now for Bishop's Finger. Here's Psychonado exiting turn 12. As WSP looks to close in on him. And we've got an instant sector 1. SDQ has had another spin. He's hit the wall somewhere. His race going from bad to worse now. I don't know why he keeps doing this every single race. It just keeps spinning all the time when he's in good positions. And all of this has promoted B Natty Natter up into 8th place now. All over the back of Quasinada. Can B Natty Natter get his 2nd points finish of the season? There's Rexin losing the position now to Gamer James, but he's not giving it up ever so easily here. Gamer James goes out wide at turn 3. DeSimpi nearly loses it. But Gamer James gets through anyhow. Denmark trying to get through as well. He's on the inside going into turn 7. He gets past. So Denmark fighting his way back through the field. Now who's had a moment? Oh, and there's an incident. DeSimpi and Rexin have spun and they've lost it. And that's brought out another safety car. Now, I'm not sure what's happened through all that. But I wonder if DeSimpi just didn't give up the place when he needs to. Oh, that's not good driving that from DeSimpi. I know it looks like frustration, but that's still not good driving standards. We've got our 2nd safety car of the race. Psychonado's in the pits, as is WSP. He's out on his way now, is the AlphaTauri. He'll keep hold of 2nd. And SDQ is out of the race as well. He's going no further. And Bronco Brive just behind WSP. So it looks down to 4th place now. He's on the hard tyres. B Natty Natter rejoins in 8th position ahead of Quasinada, with Nanda going past Denmark. Switchback is 12th with Rexin coming into the pits for his penalty. Actually, I think he's serving a penalty. Now I'm not sure what DeSimpi's doing here. Why is he putting on intermediates? I don't understand why he's putting on intermediates. Now, is that to throw the compulsory dry compound strategy out of the window so they can go back on the set of softs again? I wouldn't have thought he'd just be doing that. I mean, if he's going to be that slow, he may as well let Rexin through. But the problem is, Rexin can't overtake him under yellow flags. We are under safety car conditions after all. So Psychonado leads behind the safety car, with WSP now 2nd. Bronco Brive, who's yet to pit in this race, is 3rd. Now, he's going to be going for a longer first stint here. He will have to pit before this race is done. Rexon's trying to get past Simpy, but he can't because we're under safety car conditions. Now, these two have already had a coming together in this race. The last thing they want is getting into more trouble. So, DeSimpi back in the pit lane. Going on to another set of softs. So the only driver to have not pitted in this race so far is Bronco Brive, who's in third place behind WSP. And the safety car will go around for one more lap. So this is the second safety car period of the race. Cyclonado out in the lead. WSP second. Bronco Brive holding third place at the moment for Mercedes. Then it's Elog, who started on the front row, is in fourth. Gamer James, who pitted in for a new front wing at the end of lap 1, is in fifth place now. Ashwin is in sixth place and on a brand new set of softs. Radicon is seventh, Binatinata eighth, Quasinada ninth, Nanda 10th, and he's got a time penalty to his name. That is 5 seconds. Denmark is 11th for Renault after serving a drive-through earlier on for speeding under the virtual safety car. Switchback 12th, Bishop Stinger 13th. Brexin 14th, DeSimpi right behind now in 15th place, who's managed to catch up to the back of this lot. So Cyclonado doing a few burnouts actually to get some more temperature into his hard tyres. That will go to the end of the race now, no doubt about it. I'm just thinking for Bronco Brive, he may think about going onto a set of mediums a few laps after the safety car comes back in. But it's coming in at the end of this lap now. Cyclonado slows the field down, allows the safety car to pull away. He can't overtake it before he gets into the pit lane. So Cyclonado just waiting for his moment as to when to decide to go. He's decided to go now. At 6th, the banking. And he leads on the restart with WSP close behind in second. Oh, someone's spun. Is someone spun in the background there? I think so, yes. Yes, it has. It's Quasinada and Rexin. How on earth have they managed to do that? Rexin's out of the race. Quasinada hits the wall. And both of their race, well, Rexin's race is over. Quasinada will be able to continue. But his chances of points have surely gone now. But Cyclonado still leads on the restart with WSP in second. Bronco Brive is third. Elog fourth. And we've got Gamer James down the inside look of Ashwin. That almost ended in tears there. And it looks like Radicon could be able to find a way past. He does so. So Radicon taking advantage of a mistake from Ashwin to put his Mercedes up into P6. Binatinata has kept his car out of trouble on the restart as well. He's 8th. Denmark up to 9th on the restart, following the collision between Quasinada and Rexin. He's ahead of Switchback. So it's yet another restart drama, just like what we had in Brazil last week. There's a bit of debris left over from the contact. Quasimodo back out on a new set of mediums in 14th place. But his chances of points are very much gone now as far as I'm concerned. And there's Bishop's Finger there. His car is ghosted at the moment. And Elog right behind Bronco Brive, whose softs will be going away at this point. Now you can see how wide he's going at the moment. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart, so if Elog was to get past him now, he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way here. And Elog pulling alongside the Mercedes. He goes up to 3rd place, does he, into turn 1. Bronco Brive not giving it up, but I think he's going to have to get caught on the curve as Elog goes through. Denmark passing Binati for 8th place. He's making a recovery. Radicon next up for him. Here's the leaders though. DRSP staying in touch with Psychonauto. This could well be a sprint to the end of the race. DRS has now been enabled. DRSP is within a second of him, so he'll be able to use it through the DRS zones. Ashwin opens the rear wing. And he closes in on Gamer James in front as they enter turn 11. A lock up there from the Ferrari. Ashwin doesn't take advantage of it. Or was not able to take advantage of it anyhow. It's all over the back of him. Rear wing open. On the start finish straight. Gamer James has it as well. He's not going to be close enough to have a go on Bronco Brive as they go into turn 1 now. And Switchback has got past B Natinata for 9th position. So B Natinata's chances of points are diminishing here, but he's still inside the top 10. Now Ashwin all over the back of the Ferrari. Won't want to get too close though. Bronco Brive goes out wide though, onto the curbs. I doubt it'll be too long before he comes into the pits. Quasimodo having a penalty now for speeding in the pit lane. And he's out of the race. He goes no further. No need for a safety car. His car has retired in the pit lane. This is the best battle out on track right at the moment. Rear wing open on the Ferrari. He gets it done just before the yellow flag zone actually, so it's okay. He goes through, but Bronco Boy comes back. The two make contact. Game James has got the job done though. Radicon wasn't able to get through, and Bronco Brive cuts across on Ashwin. So the the Mercedes fighting it out for as long as he can. He can't pass in the yellow flag zone because Quasimodo's parked up there, and Switchback has got through on Radicon for 8th place. So positions keep chopping and changing. Now can Ashwin find a way past on the inside into turn 9? The answer is yes, he can. So Ashwin gets past the Mercedes, whose tyres are just screaming like hell at the moment. Denmark spins though. Denmark isolate contact with Switchback. And he's pointing the wrong way as Denmark. His race goes from bad to worse now. That puts Binati back up to 8th place. He's got back through on Radicon as well. Bronco Brive is still in 6th position. I wonder if he'll stay out for another lap, or will he decide to pit in at the end of this lap? I'd imagine he'll come in at the end of this one, to be honest with you. Otherwise, he's going to risk delaminating his tyre. He's coming in now, look. So he's in for his only stop of the race. Medium tyres going on the car. He'll rejoin behind Bishop's Finger and Denmark. So he'll rejoin right at the back of the field, actually. But he'll be on much fresher tyres than everyone else. So DeSimpi in 10th place behind Nanda. As Ashwin closes in on the Ferrari of Gamer James, who's already pitted in this race. He could go to the end if he wanted to, because he started the race on the soft compound. And he's now on the hards. Ashwin will be on better tyres. He's only started on the races on the soft tyres as Ashwin, so he will need to pit again whatever happens. Can he find a way through on the Ferrari this time around? Rear wing open. Does he get into the slipstream? He's got no ERS left up. So he sits in behind. Radicon passes Binatinata on the inside. Binatinata didn't put up too much of a fight, to be honest with you, as he allows the Mercedes to go through. So the gap between Cyclonado and DRSP is stretched out to 4 seconds now. I'm not sure what's happened to DRSP's pace at this moment of time. It's not very good. Now Ashwin pushing too hard at the moment whilst he's trying to catch. Oh, he spun! Ashwin spins it! Does he keep it out of the wall? No, he doesn't. Has he left any damage or debris behind? I don't think he has. But he's dropped down to 8th place now. Make that 9th as Switchback goes through, I think. But the two make contact again. Ashwin trying to fight. Oh, that's naughty. That's very naughty there from Ashwin. That was Switchback's corner. Oh, I have to feel there for Switchback because he didn't do anything wrong. It's just Switchback didn't... Sorry, Ashwin did not give up the position when he needed to that time. And Switchback falls down the order. Or was that Nanda, actually? I think it was Nanda who made contact with Ashwin. So Nanda falls down the order to 13th position. Switchback is currently in 5th. Yeah, I think Ashwin will get a time penalty for that collision, to be honest with you. Because that was so needless of him. And can you believe for Binati Nati? He cannot believe his luck right now. He's in 7th place for Haas. Now, he's only picked up 1 point so far this season. He's not finished any higher than 10th in any America F1 Series race, as far as I know. He's definitely not finished higher than 7th. He won't want to be getting time penalties, though. That's the only thing. And WSP's pace is dropping more and more now because... Oh, he's got damage to his front wing. That explains it, then. So WSP must have made a mistake somewhere during the restart. He's now nearly 7 seconds behind Cyclonado. Now, will he consider pitting in for a new front wing, maybe? That could well be the solution for him. But the only sacrifice he'll make is potentially losing 2nd place. He'll fall well down the order, to be honest with you. His best bet would be to just keep hold with what he's got and hope for the best. Eggle's got a great opportunity to get back through ahead of him into 2nd place here. And Bronco Brives had a moment somewhere. He's damaged his front wing again. He's had a race to be honest with you. Now Elog all over the back of the gearbox there of DRSP. This is crucial for the championship now. Cyclonado has the fastest that point. As it stands, Cyclonado leading. And Ashwin's come into the pits now for a change of tyres and a new front wing. As it stands with the positions as they are, the gap would be 10 points between Cyclonado and DRSP going into the final race of the season in Austin in a week's time. Ashwin rejoins in 13th place behind the man who he had collided with a few laps ago. The gap is 9 seconds now. DRSP will have a decision to make whether to head into the pits to get a new front wing fitted on or just hang it out and try and finish as high as he can. Rear wing open on Elog's car. He goes round the outside of DRSP into turn 1. Can't make the move stick. Gets on the gravel there. But he's got away with it. So maybe next time round, DRSP will get the job done. Ashwin's got past Nanda for what is now 12th place. Bronco Brive carrying on with the damage that he's got to his Mercedes. There's switchback behind Gaiman James for 4th position. Now here's Elog. This is probably his best opportunity now. He needs to use his ERS to good effect here. Does he use it? Yes, he does use it and uses DRS. No, WSP. Elog goes around the outside there. Can WSP fight it out with him? They make contact. Ooh, that was a little bit marginal there from WSP. Forced Elog out wide there. Should he have left him a little bit more space? Not 100% sure. Gaiman James has picked up a time penalty now for track limits. They'll go to his time at the end of the race. Denmark comes into the pits for a change of tyres. As does DeSimpi. And Bronco Brive will go through. That may give DRSP the breathing space he needs, actually, because if he decides to come in to get a set of soft tyres on, that may play into his hands. He would fall down to 7th place behind B Natty Natter. But I think he may well be better off just hanging it out, to be honest with you. Now, can Elog find a way through? Nearly lost it coming off the bank in there, but he's got DRS. Pulls out alongside. This is the best chance he's had. And he goes through and up to 2nd place ahead of the AlphaTauri. So Elog up to 2nd place where he started on the grid. DRSP down to 3rd and loses 3 championship points in his fight with Cyclonado. I don't think there's an awful lot he could do about it. Could maybe come into the pits and get a set of soft tyres on and try and get the fastest lap and take that away, actually, from Cyclonado. He's got 8 seconds in hand on Gaiman James, but he knows he's one of the quickest drivers on the grid, so the luxury of soft tyres could be the way to go. He knows he's not going to get in front of Elog, so does WSP decide to pit in at the end of this lap? We'll find out in a moment. No, he decides to carry on. He's falling out of DRS range, though. There's Denmark in 9th position, closing on Bishop's Finger. Switchback behind Gaiman James right now. Denmark now posting the new fastest lap. It's a 1 minute 11.1. He's through ahead of Bishop's Finger, whose car is ghosted as it's controlled by the AI, so that's no problem there for Denmark. Now, DRSP needs to think about maybe pitting in for a new front wing, unless he decides that, do you know what, third place may be the best way to go about it now with the damage that I've got. And he is coming in. So DRSP is coming into the pits. Now Gamer James will go through, although he's in the battle actually with, well, I say he's in the battle, he's allowed Switchback to go by, so that's one less car for WSP to get past. Switchback goes up to third place, Radicon fourth, and I think WSP is going to get out in front of Binati Nata here. In fact, Binati Nata's through, so Binati Nata, through everything that's happened in this race, is now up to fifth, but there's no way he's going to keep hold of it with WSP and Gamer James on fresher tyres. So it's played out quite nicely actually for WSP. He just needs to get by a few cars and get the fastest lap crucially and take that away from Psychonado. If he can get third place and get the fastest lap, the gap would be 10 points going into the last round of the championship in Austin. But obviously he needs to get more than that. Psychonado posting a new fastest lap. He's now into the 1 minute 10s. WSP all over the back of Binati Nata. Very quickly, in fact. That's the difference of putting on some new tyres. Rear wing open, goes to the inside, and he's through and up to fifth. It won't be too long before he gets onto the gearbox of the Mercedes of Radicon. The gap was 4.5 seconds when he exited turn 1 there, so just keep an eye out on that gap. Kicking up a bit of dust there. You can tell how hard he is pushing at this point in the race. Purple in sector 1. This could well be a 1 minute 9, to be honest with you, for WSP. He's got the gap down now to 2.9 seconds, 2.8, 2.7. Incredible pace that WSP is setting already. The gap now 2 seconds, in fact. It'll go down even more before the lap is over. And this will surely be a new fastest lap of the race. It's a 1 minute 10.0. So he's taking that point away from Psychonado. That's good news for DRSP. Now he just needs to get onto the rear of that Mercedes in front, with 8 laps remaining. Psychonado nearly 13 seconds in front of Elog, who's in second. Switchback third. Radicon fourth. WSP in fifth. DRS being used now from the AlphaTauri driver. He knows it's now or never, so he needs to get this done on the start-finish straight. That'll be his best opportunity. In fact, Radicon lets him go. So Radicon not bothering fighting it out with DRSP. Radicon knows he's on much fresher tyres, and so doesn't put up too much of a fight. You wouldn't get away with that in real-life Formula 1. Crossing the pit lane entry line is what I mean, not the fact that Radicon just let DRSP by that easily. 6.5 seconds DRSP has over Switchback. I think he will pass him, it's just a matter of when he'll pass him. Switchback has been on the hards for 23 laps now, to simply passing Bronco Bride for 11th place. 6.2 seconds, the gap between Switchback and DRSP. There's a bit of debris there on the exit of turn 12. Not sure where that's come from. He's used up his ERS, which could explain his drop in pace. And as it stands, DRSP would only be collecting 13 points in this race. Cyclonado will be getting 25. The gap was 2 points at the beginning of the race. It will increase to 14 going into the last race of the season in Austin in 7 days' time. Is it coming home? So it says from the England fans during the course of this UEFA European Championship after booking their place in the semi-finals. Is that something that Cyclonado will be having in the back of his mind? Not 100% sure yet. 4.8 seconds the gap now between Switchback and WSP. 5 laps remaining. WSP crossing the line now. The gap is 4.6. You can see Switchback going through. You can see how hard Switchback is pushing. So it's 3.9 seconds now. The gap was 4.6 at the end of the last lap. And DRSP has already taken nearly a whole second out on this lap alone. Still not finished the lap yet. Still got 2 more corners to negotiate before the lap is finished. We'll know what the gap is now. Well, we'll know what the gap is by the time he gets over the line to compare. The gap is now 3.4 seconds. So DRSP took 1.2 seconds out on Switchback's margin on that last lap alone. Very determined drive from DRSP. And then 2.5 seconds, it says on the gap at the moment. Gap was 3.4 when they crossed the line. Gap now 2 seconds, so 1.4 seconds DRSP took out on Switchback on that last lap. He's pushing ever so hard. He's only got 3 laps remaining here, so he needs to get the hammer down on this one and get to within DRS range. .7 seconds. He needs to find a little bit more through these next few corners here. Just 5 drivers with time penalties at the moment. Gaming Jane's the highest of those in 6th. His time penalty would not drop him a position. 1.2 seconds is the gap as they come through sector 2. And DRSP still not within DRS range. Now can... Oh, he's going to use DRS here. Oh, is that the Haas in the wall? It's Binattinata. Oh, that's such a shame. He was in 7th position. That's his chance of points gone now, surely. Oh, he didn't need that mistake in the closing stages there, did Binattinata? What would have been his best ever result in the America F1 Series. Oh, that's such a shame. He's down to 9th. He should be able to get to the end of the race on that. Oh, that's terrible luck. Psychonauta coming through a few back markers. Duraspeed's got the gap down now to half a second between himself and Switchback. Very much within DRS range, but he's going to have one shot at it on the start-finish straight, and that's all. You can use the DRS here on this back straight to close in a little bit more. And then it's the start-finish straight where he'll complete the job on Switchback. Rear wing open. Into the slipstream. DRSP goes to the outside. This is for the sake of the championship here. DRSP round the outside into turn 1. Does he get in front of Switchback? Wheel to wheel. And DRSP is through into 3rd place. That's crucial for the World Championship. And DRSP will be delighted with that. The Brazilian gets past the German to go up into 3rd place. That is 3 extra points to close in on the championship battle with Cyclonado. And talking to which is Cyclonado, we are with him now. He's about to complete his final lap. One more turn to go through, which is the new banking. Cyclonado exits the last corner to take a giant step closer to the championship. Cyclonado wins the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. He wins by a comfortable margin with LR coming through in 2nd place. Well deserved for him. But what a performance from DRSP. He was determined to get by Switchback. He made the right decision in coming in for his late pit stop, get the front wing change, get a new set of tyres on. 3rd place for him and the fastest lap as well. So the gap is now 10 points going into the last round of the season in Austin. Gamer James will lose 5th place to Radicon with his time penalty. He drops down. Denmark will be 7th for Renault. Ashwin is in 8th with Binattinata. He's almost about to lose a position to Bishopsfinger, but because of Bishopsfinger's his time penalty, that may drop him to simply behind in 11th place. But Binattinata is going to still pick up his best results of his America F1 Series career in 9th. Bishopsfinger in 10th. DeSimpi 11th. Bronco Brive in 11th place, or 12th place I should say. And the last of the finishers will be Nanda, I believe. But Cyclonado is your race winner in Zandvoort. That's his 5th victory of the season. The gap is 10 points going into the final round of the season in Austin. Cyclonado's got 5 wins. DRSP has got 4. Now I'm just thinking, if DRSP was to win the race, well, we'll come into that in a moment. Cyclonado, your race winner. Elog 2nd with DRSP in 3rd place, and crucially getting the point for the fastest lap. Switchback 4th. Radicon 5th. Gamer James down to 6th for that time penalty added. Denmark in 7th. Goodness knows where he could have finished had it not been for his misdemeanors. Ashwin in 8th. Binattinata 9th, with Bishopsfinger collecting the last point in 10th. DeSimpi was 11th, followed by Bronco Brive. Nanda, the last of the finishers, and the lap down in 13th place. Quasinana didn't finish, neither did Rexin. SDQ also retired, as did Blockbent, who crashed out on lap 1. So the gap in the cycle race is now 10 points. Cyclonado, the championship favourite, WSP in 2nd, which means that Cyclonado, going into the last round of the season, he needs to finish in the top 2 to guarantee himself the title, which he's got a great chance of doing so. For WSP to win the title, he needs to win the race. And for Psychonauts to be third or lower. And then that's the championship clinched, I would think. So that is all. That's all you need to know before the America F1 Series go to Austin. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed that. It's been a brilliant end to that race, actually, with the battles that were going on. One round to go then, next weekend. Who will be champion? Will it be Psychonauts or will it be WSP clinching the Division 1 title? Whose home is it coming to? Find out next week in 7 days' time at 9:30 p.m. British Summer Time. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the America F1 Series returns.